Hi, I'm Tamara Lackey, and on this episode of reDefine show for Adorama TV, I speak with Cathy Anderson. She shares what kind of equipment she uses to safely scale walls to get some spectacular views and great portraits of other climbers. And she also shares how photographing the elements and landscapes is her form of therapy. Check it out. What kind of things are you using when you're out there? Will you show us some of your gear and the things that help you take the better shots?
Yes. The biggest thing is safety. I mean, you can't just expect to do adventure photography and just climb up a cliff. I mean, there's so much that goes on behind the scenes that a lot of people don't understand. I'm hauling probably 50 to 100 pounds of gear up the mountain.
50 to 100 pounds.
Yeah, and I have to have assistance. Like, you can't just say, hey, let's go shoot a highline with lights. You don't do that. Pre-production is gigantic.
Right.
And this is my climbing harness. Petzl is a great company. This is my climbing harness. And what happens is you put one leg through each one of these, and you are supported by loops here. And basically, depending on what you're doing, you just put your ropes through these loops and a few carabiners, and that's going to support you while you're up there.
Right.
You have other things called personal anchor systems that you can use. Obviously, you're climbing in shoes like this that have, you know, rubber soles, that really thick rubber soles that are going to help you grip to that rock really well. You have anchor systems, and then belay devices like this. This is called an ATC. This is called a locking carabiner. And the good thing about that is you cannot, this won't break. The little, I don't even know what to say.
The unbreakable
thing.
The
thingy right here is not gonna break, okay?
Yeah.
But if you bring it down here, I don't know if you wanna get a close up of that they say red is dead.
Ah.
So there's lots of safety mechanisms to make sure you're safe. My friends Tim, Eric, all of my buddies, like I said, it's a man's world. So you have to really put yourself out there. But luckily, these guys are so sweet and supportive and patient, mind you, that once you learn the systems and all of that, you know, it's not like, oh my gosh, she's coming again. This is going to be an annoyance. They're just really supportive
she's
of
coming again and get some amazing shots of me.
I call in my Cathy Anderson male modeling program, and it only takes one time for the guys to jump in front of my camera, and then every other time that I come with my camera, they're like, oh, can you get me here? It's like they're laying on the rock like this. Ready? So that's a little bit.
What bag are you using for all that? Like,
I swear by Gregory packs.
Is that your everything bag, like your gear,
This is my day pack.
No, but like you put your camera?
Yeah, I put my camera in here. There's all kinds of little compartments. Gregory packs are pretty awesome because they really feel good on my body. They really strap well to my body real tightly. And it doesn't feel like I'm, you know, there's too much on my shoulders or pulling me back like this. But I like this one a whole lot.
How do you grab your camera from there? Like if you just pull it out before you go?
What we typically do is pack that, and we'll climb up the wall, and then he'll anchor me in first of all. That's the number one most important thing. If I have my pack, I'm going to anchor it to the wall too. But if I don't, I'll just sling my camera around my back, and usually I take a carabiner and hook it to my camera, and then you have
almost
all
like
these
a spider
loops. Holster. Yeah, kind of like that. Yeah. I have a spider holster. But you just hook a carabiner to this and hook it to your camera too, and it won't swing back and forth. But the one thing I have noticed is you don't just sling it around your back, especially if you just have a neck strap, just because it's going to be swaying back and forth. And that can pull you like that. And
the momentum of that.
The most important thing is lighting, because you have to go at the right time of day. You can't go at noon, because obviously you're going to get raccoon eyes. But you've got to choose whether you're going to use lights or not. If you use lights, it gets so much more complicated, but the photos are so much cooler. I've got some photos, like I said, of the Highline where I photographed my friend Damon. He's an Adidas sponsored athlete. And he can do all kinds of tricks like flip around the line.
Yes! Oh! I love it, dude! Yeah!
That was a super cool shoot because I didn't think I could do it personally. And we hauled all this gear up, and I had, I think, 3 assistants with me. It was just a super cool experience. And we were literally with my pack and packed full. We were like holding on like this to parts of the cliff, and it was super slippery, and it was just really, really scary. So.
Yeah.
But
Scary / exciting.
Yeah.
Especially once it's over and you're okay.
Yeah, once it's over, it's great.
Yeah,
Like,
that was awesome.
Hey, I'm alive.
Yeah.
So.
And then this light you brought. Can you show us what this is and how you use it?
Absolutely. I have 2 different rigs. You have to choose whether you're going to do speed lights or you're going to use monolights.
Okay.
If you're going to use monolights, I suggest going with like the Ellen Chromes or Pro Photos, or even we're looking at the Paul Buff Einsteins.
Okay.
I love Paul Buff. The downside to this one is that it doesn't have high speed sync. And so you can only go up to a 1/200th of a second. But it does have, the upside to this is that it has, you can go up to.
That thing's been bashed around.
It has. Don't show my boss.
That's a good light.
Actually, this is my coworker's Ben. This is my coworker Ben's light, so I didn't bash this.
Oh, okay.
But I just brought it because yellow is my favorite color. So.
Yeah.
But this will let you overpower the sun. It's an Alien B1600, and it's 640 watt seconds, I think. So this is a little rig. It's pretty cool. If you look here, it's got 4 little cold shoes, and it's a there's thumb screws too. For Speedlite, excuse me. I do speak English, I promise. So you put 4 Speedlights in here, and then you put the commander on top of it. We use Yongnuos. I think it's the 600s.
Did you say this was Dave's?
Dave Black. Thanks, Dave Black. You're my hero.
We love Dave.
And he uses this. It's very light and very portable. Like, you can pick it up. It's very light. Adds maybe, I would say 3 to 5 pounds with the Speedlights if you use all 4.
Right.
And then if you have the power of 4 Speedlights, I'd say that's about the same as maybe an AB1600. So I could be wrong on that.
Significantly easier to manage.
Yeah, and it tilts just like a normal softbox would. But you can add Speedlights. You can use 2. You can use 4, 3, whatever you want. And then we have these Yongnuos. Let me get that out real quick.
I love it. It's like show and tell.
I know, it's fun, isn't it? Let's see. This is my Yongnuo, and Yongnuo came out with a system that is pretty awesome. I don't use TTL, I'm a manual girl. Everything I do is manual.
But one will trigger the other.
This is the commander, and you can change all of your settings from here. Just, this goes on my camera, and this is the Speedlight, and you literally just take it here and put it right in here.
And then you've got this nice bounce with everything.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
Lots of cool things you can do here. But I actually used monolights on the Highline shoot just to have a comparison, and I used this on my mountain biking shoot and a couple other shoots that I did. I did one with aerial silks. I've also done a few boxing photo sessions.
Yeah, tell us about the boxing sessions.
Well, I'm actually a boxer myself. Well, I'm no Muhammad Ali or anything like that, or Layla Ali. But these are, if I had to tell you what my favorite piece of equipment these days, aside from photography, it's this.
Bone breakers.
Bone breaker. What's that bone breaker? This is my gym, and this is the very biggest thing this is the biggest thing that has brought me more confidence. So if you stepped into a boxing gym, how would you feel if you had never had any experience?
Yeah, intimidated.
Right. Well, I feel like it's important for you as a person to feed your confidence, because if you're not confident as a photographer, and if you can't give that persona off to your clients, there's no way they're going to be confident.
Right.
I'm a firm believer in feeding what you expect from them, because reflection is going to give you back what you need. So these are my favorite tools, because it's given me a lot of confidence to really go past a lot of my own barriers.
Yeah.
And it's just really fun to be able to get in there. We spar with the guys. Yeah. I'm not the best in the world. I don't care to be the best in the world. When I step into my boxing gym, the reason I love it so much is because the gentlemen, and I say gentlemen for a reason there, never make me feel like they know my age or my gender. They teach me the way that they want to be themselves. Kind, caring, confident gentlemen who never make anyone feel inferior. And so my advice to any woman out there, any man, it doesn't matter who you are. Never, ever, ever believe what you think and hear you can do. Always push past it, because if you push yourself past your own comfort zone, you're going to be really surprised at what you can achieve in life. Because my entire story and path through life has been all about pushing through comfort zones. And there is nothing comfortable about it. But the reward on the other side is looking past all the things that you were told that you couldn't do, and saying, I did it, and I did it with beauty and grace and strength. And I know that on my deathbed, I'm going to be able to look back at my life and not regret a single thing that I ever did. My choices will never be perfect, but I'm going to be happy. And I make a lot of controversial choices in my life, but I'm really going to be satisfied and content. So make sure you are who you are and you live into who you were created to be, because I have never in my life been happier than I am at 36 years old and more confident and strong, because this is the best time of my life. And it's all because you have strength and courage to really step out into the unknown and take a leap of faith. I want somebody else to be like, oh, she can do it, I can, cool.
Yeah. So that whole idea of inspiring other people through your own actions and getting them to connect with you. Mm-hmm. And so tell us about your boxing portraits. You said that's one of your big things right now.
I love mixing strength and beauty, because there's such a stigma in today's world that women have to be just strong or just beautiful, but you can't be both.
Right.
And women are allowed to be strong. Women are allowed to have heels on one day and go walk down the street to a Broadway show, and then the next day be in the boxing gym or in the wilderness getting dirt under her fingernails. You know, I think that's the greatest part about being a woman and pushing these barriers, so that you can show others that they can do it too.
Right.
I love busting the molds. I am not a cookie cutter kind of girl, never will be. Yeah. So that's basically the heart of what I do, and I want to give that to other girls.
I love that.
Yeah.
So where can we find out more about the work you're doing? Because you're doing a lot of cool work in a lot of areas, and I know you're really more focusing. You do a lot with sports and sports, senior portraits, sportraits, but obviously a lot with like elements like the astrophotography and the fire portraits. I thought were really cool. The fire landscape work and all that element work. Where would you want people to find out more about what you do?
There's 2 studios that I work through. I have my portrait studio, which is teenage portraits. Anything that I do that has lights that would be like a commercial gig, a paying gig, anything like that. And that's TPS Photography. We're based in Morganton. My landscape work, or what I call my therapy on the weekends, what I do on the weekends, is Cathy Anderson Photography. You can go to tpsphotography.com or cathyandersonphotography.com to see my landscape and adventure photography. But I'm really trying to do a lot with lighting and take my love for the outdoors and my love for off-camera flash and marry them. Yeah. So a lot of that is going to be with Cathy Anderson, but I'm just really excited to be able to do both of what I do. And I'm a firm believer, if you can't find someone to pay you for your passion, you're in the wrong job. And I'm very blessed to be able to do it every single day of my life. Yeah. And it's just been one of the greatest rides of my life. So that's about it. Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thanks so much, Cathy. Check us out here next time on Adorama TV. And while you're gone, go ahead and subscribe to Adorama TV and find out all the cool things that you can see on this channel.